Gavros, is that you? I'd almost given up hope. Let me get the door.
What the? What are you doing here? What have you done with Gavros? It was the Falmer, wasn't it? If Gavros is gone, there is no hope. He was supposed to return with the crystal. Without that, all our efforts are wasted. And you, if you're here for treasure or wisdom or anything, I'm afraid you've wasted your time. It didn't work the first time. I tried to tell Gavros, but he wouldn't listen. No, it won't be too cold, he said. Well, I was right, wasn't I? Focused completely wrong by the time we... Gavros had to cart it all the way back to Cyrodiil. Left the rest of us here to... It was a brilliant idea, really. Mostly mine, though Gavros took the credit. Secret, though. Official Synod business. Can't talk about it. Are you? Well, I'm afraid I can't help you with that. I need the crystal to do anything useful, and I don't have it. You found... How in the world? That's it? That's it! I don't know who you are, but you may have just saved this little project. In fact, who are you anyway? You are you? Savos wouldn't even grant us an audience when we came to you, but now you come here expecting something from me? I don't much like this, I'll tell you. But you saved my skin, so maybe I can overlook the past for now. Come on, I'll explain on the way. No matter what Gavros said, this was my idea first. The Council is going to know that when I get back. I was the one who thought of using this oculory. I don't know what the dwarves called it. Something unpronounceable, I'm sure. From all our research, it seems they were intent on discerning the nature of the divine. This machine, all of it, was designed to detect starlight. Then, spread it somehow? It was my idea to place one of the key elements with our focusing crystal. Months of enchantments went into it. Let's just hope they got it right this time. Here it is. Magnificent, isn't it? Took an incredible amount of work to get it running again. Now I'm hoping it'll all be worth it. Place the crystal in the central apparatus, and we can start the process for focusing it. else. You know, yes? Now the crystal needs to be focused. It was created so far away. We knew that some adjustments would have to be made. Heating and cooling the crystal will cause it to expand or contract, which will change how the light passes through it. You'll need to use spells to do that. Being from the college, I assume you know them already. There should be a few basic tomes around here somewhere in case your training is even more substandard than I've heard. All right then. Results. They're not at all what they should be. This projection should be lit up like the night sky. Something is creating an incredible amount of interference. Something in Winterhold, it looks like. What are you playing at? Is this some attempt to stall my work? So what is it? What have you done? Did you know what we were attempting? Are you here to make sure your plan worked? That our efforts have been for nothing? Well, explain yourself. You and your college have ruined years of my work. I've lost colleagues and friends to the Falmer, and you want me to calm down? How did you do it? But it must be something you're doing. There's no other explanation. You have something at your college, don't you? Something immensely powerful, beyond anything I've anticipated. What is it? The Eye of Magnus? Well, I suppose if that means what I think it does, well, that's interesting. Yes, the staff. Interesting. I can't explain the details. That would be giving away many secrets the Synod have learned over the years. Also, I doubt you'd be able to comprehend the details. Have you seen the orrery in the Imperial City? It was the inspiration for this idea. Instead of projecting the sky, we project all of Tamriel, and then harness the latent energies to overlay the positions of... What's important is that all of this work was designed to reveal to us sources of great magical power. Purely to help safeguard the Empire, of course. And yet, in the end, only 2 locations have been revealed to us. One is your college. The other, well, that can only be labyrinthian. So, mage from Winterhold, despite your intentions, I've beaten your little game. Even if all you've said here is lies, I know you have something in Winterhold the Synod Council will be very interested in. So fine, trudge off to Labyrinthian in search of your staff. I shall return to Cyrodiil and deliver my full report to the Council. This is not over, I assure you. Well, yes. Probably. I mean, yes. Certainly it is. But that doesn't matter now, because I know you're hoarding something even more important at your college. The Council will be informed of this. They will find out what you're up to. I think we're done here. You got what you came for, didn't you? Go then, back to your college.
You have done well thus far, but trying times are ahead. It is imperative that you return to your college at once. You will be called on to take swift action, rise to the challenge, and discover what you are capable of. You are on the right path, and you will prevail.
I'm a little busy at the moment. I've got all sorts of errands to run.
I've got a little if you're interested, traveler.
Hello? Yeah?
Why, hello. Here to buy? If you have to ask the price, you might be in the wrong store. We provide clothing for all of Solitude's most. Make it quick. Let's see if we can't find an
Something's
outfit
actually
that
just
suits
clicked
you.
with me, you know what Sir George was saying? You know, he fell out with all his Dutch friends, right? Because they fucking told him, right, that they didn't want Yanni fucking playing with them. Yeah. Because she's an annoying little fucking cunt, isn't she? You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. She's a weirdo, mate. But there's something wrong with her as well, you know what I mean? I don't know what it is that's wrong with her, but, you know. Yeah. Newbie, come back. Newbie, come back. Not on one.
Must have been a long drive. You're only in it. Yeah, I had to go to the other side of the country. And back again in just one day. Well, it's nice to see you. You too. Oh, I need to see you.
I can't wait till fucking Christmas, man, so I can play a different game. Wait for Battlefield, man. Just remember playing the beta as well, like, I'm like, yeah. Just a fighting game, like, you know what I mean? I mean, I've got Star Wars there, but it's not really like real guns, you know what I mean? I was, I don't know if it still is. Noob, noob, noob. Wonderful. wonderful time of the year. And there's newbies with balance and they're all falling away. It's a good time of year for the paedophiles. They'll get fucking dressed up as Santa and tell the kids to sit on the laps. Santa, your phone's poking me. Yeah, kid, my phone. Okay. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
The sack. Now, there's other things that went on to get him the sack, but you're a Leicester owner. You've enjoyed the title win. You're not saying, well, you've got to go and win the title again. You're not even saying you've got to do brilliantly in the Champions League. You have every right to say you can't have us near the relegation zone. No, that shouldn't be happening.
Well, you would have expected it. As if all the energy just gone into the Champions League. As it rubbed off, because Ranieri must have thought he was never going to get that again. Win the title, he's back in the Champions League. He does love it, doesn't he? I mean, he's had a decent record in it as well. He's glad to be back in it. And has he put all his energy into that? And it's rubbed off on the players? I don't know. There's so many questions to ask, because I still look at Leicester. I don't think they're a team that can win the title. And you would say that last year. No, you would say that last year when you look at the players. But you would say they've definitely got a team that you should be finishing mid-table.
I got fucking loads of skins, man.
Pre-season, you know, could the champions get relegated? We asked the question, and
I got so many skins, man.
they scoffed at the suggestion.
They have it as I said. I remember what I said. I mean, you said you can have that. Can they get relegated?
Tell you why I've got so many skins, right? Because I buy the 25 gram of tobacco.
I think that'll be about.
And you get skins with it every time you buy it, like, and that lasts me about a week, so I've always got skins, man. Always.
You're right, it's all already. We've got a good team. We won it last year. Why can't we get into the Champions League again? Well, where you are at this moment in time,
out at Asda or something, buy a big box of them.
Well, absolutely, and this is been put into sharp perspective, not just because they've got a 6-pointer tomorrow at Sunderland. I'll be there for match day live from 1. Actually, I'm really looking forward to the game. It's a tense one. 2 wins out of 3 for Sunderland in the last 3 games.
I got these green ones at the moment. I assume the Rizzler, yeah, they are.
Home form Leicester has been really good. However, last home game against Middlesbrough, very fortunate to get away with a point. Some of the Leicester fans were booing. It was a terrible performance. Some Leicester fans
Noobs.
had the worst performance of the season. And if all of a sudden their home form starts falling off a cliff, then the problems will mount up and up and up. And at what point do fans, do people at the club, do people who run the club, do people who own the club, at what point do they say, listen,
I'm selling shit out of it.
last season? I mean, we just had the clip of Ranieri saying, no, this is a new season. You know, we've moved on from last season. Well, I wouldn't shout that too loud, mate. I mean, I try and make people remember that what you actually did last season, because it was miraculous. Nobody will ever take that away from him and Leicester City. But the here and
Damn, she got no money left.
Thank you for your patronage.
Their form is pretty terrible. Vardy's not scoring. Who knows what the new year could bring? They could resurrect.
If you're heading to the Blue Palace, you might want to rethink.
At this moment in time, it doesn't look good for them.
Let me know if you see anything you like. Need something? Oh, take a look.
He's suspended again this week.
In the middle of a bang,
So he's the main player for them. Vardy's the main player for them not scoring. Mahrez has not had the same effect. Him and Vardy, the link-up play has not been great. Okazaki's been injured.
No, you know what I haven't found? The fucking breathe underwater.
And I think he's struggling now to get them in because he wants to play his record signing.
That's what I mean, like what I'd do is I'd disenchant it and learn the spell, and then I'd like put it on a ring or something. You know what I mean? And then just put the ring on when I'm under the water. Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, that's how you learn them, mate. Can't learn them otherwise.
Giro says nobody's unsackable, only as good as the next result, and that's how managers are judged. The Fergie Wenger time won't happen again. Well, the Wenger time is still happening. Craig says
finally
the odds mid-season for Leicester City to win the league, then get relegated this season. Crazy money. And Ben says Leicester just like a boxer to find at a different level. Not quite sure what he means by that, but let's hear from Leicester fans. 08717223344.
Well, what he means is that Armour got a book of Premier League now for now in the Champions League. That's their next challenge. It doesn't matter if they vacated the Premier League now.
Let me know if you see anything you like.
If you're looking for potions, you should talk to my aunt, Angeline Moreau.
So you're interested in my potions and ingredients?
Is the reality for that group. They were going to win the group. They were going to get through the group at least. They've done well. You can't argue with what they've done in the Champions League so far, but the champions of England should be doing that. Round of 16, all of a sudden it's knockout. Well, let's see what happens. If they don't go any further, if they don't get to the
Don't forget me next time you need her.
You look like an adventurous one.
Let's speak to
Need something?
Yeah, very good, Adrian. Great show.
Thank you.
Baron, legend. I just wanted to say, you know, if last season was just out of the ordinary, never going to happen again. Leicester were dire before that, and they got relegated. They really get relegated this year. They'll have another one-off season in the Champions League this year,
Take a good look around.
Premier League.
I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. If not, let me know.
That's just the way it is.
I might have it stored away.
Well, you honestly think that could happen? I mean, I think that most Leicester fans would balk at that. I mean, this is the guy who's brought history to the football club. You can't say any manager is unsackable. I get that.
Viren said trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
He'll be sacked again imminently. Unless they're willing to stick with him and take them down, which is looking very likely, then if not this season, next season, what do you do? That's just the way it is.
Well, how do you know they're not going to spend a lot of money? They've got very ambitious owners.
They spent money in summer and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying though is there's a few more windows between now and next year. There's a few more windows, and if this Champions League run has given them a huge appetite, don't you think they might just spend a few more quid?
No.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Well, they might do.
You've got owners who want Champions League football, and
that's panicking if they do that. I think.
They're going to be planning for the Championship.
I tell you, listen, thanks for the call. The reality is, what the caller has done there, he has hit the nail on the head.
They're not going down.
Yeah, but hold on. If they're in danger of it, the owners won't stand for it. These are not owners who run the local butcher shop. These are, they're not in it for the sentimentality. They're in it to win stuff. They're not in it to get relegated. If there was an unfortunate set of circumstances, they might cut a little bit of slack. You can't go from winning the title to being in a relegation battle. You just cannot do that. They will see winning the title as the norm for Leicester from now on. Whether that's right or wrong is another matter, but that's the way the owners will work. And they're partly to blame. Paul points out here on Twitter, Leicester missing Kante, a huge player for them. And I think it's quite clear they are missing him more than they realised they would. It was a player they couldn't afford to lose, and they lost him.
Massive player. I think Drinkwater's actually stepped up. I think he's played well, but he's a totally different player. And at the side of him, he just, without a pair of them, it's not been the same effect, has it? There's been lots of things for Leicester this year where they've not gone their way. Champions League, I would still say, if you're a fan of Leicester, you've got to be pleased the way the season's gone. And I'm purely going on Champions League. Yes, the champions of England, they're in the easiest group.
Well, let's ask that question.
They're in the Champions League.
Let's ask the Leicester fans that question. You are towards the bottom. The away record is terrible. Vardy's not scoring. 6 points with Sunderland for the champions of England.
Come back to bits and pieces anytime.
Really. So, yeah, the Champions League form is brilliant. Does that rescue everything? Does that make everything okay? 08717223344.
My Sporting Life. Get mining moments from Talk Sports.
Ricky Hatton. I think there are only 2 people that
Roused by a manner. Now there's a fight. For sale, too. If you're interested, talk to the steward in the keep.
Seems that blades, helmets, pretty much anything to suit your needs.
We're the only ones seeing this, and nobody really gave me a chance. And people were talking before the fight, if I was able to pull it off, it would probably be one of the greatest victories in the British boxing ring. I was training at tea time, and then I was doing my run at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was incredible. Sometimes I was running at 3:30 in the morning, something like that. I got pulled up by the police a couple of times. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing? And then when I took me bob that off, it was like, oh, hi, Ricky, sorry, good luck next week. It was really weird.
Legends of sport recall their major achievements with Danny Kelly. My Sporting Life on Talk Sport.
This sound is the sound of being stuck in traffic over Christmas. Listening to windscreen wipers. It's not very good, is it? So instead, get digital radio in your car, and you'll be able to listen to all your favourite digital stations wherever you go. It's easy to listen to digital radio through your existing car radio. You can connect via an easy-fit adapter or even your smartphone. And if you're buying a car radio or adapter, look for the digital tick. It means you'll get all your available stations.
To find out how to get digital radio in your car, visit your local car dealer, car accessory retailer or Halfords.
If you love radio, go digital.
Download the Talk Radio app and get the biggest names in British broadcasting, wherever you are, whenever you want them. Download the Talk Radio app and get the new big thing in British broadcasting, wherever you are, whenever you want it. Listen live. Get Paul Ross when you're on the road, and Ian Lee wherever you may be. Download the Talk Radio app for free from your app store now.
The Sports Bar. Massive names in the world of sport and beyond.
David Beckham.
Yeah, unless you win everything a match, there's never been there's going to be enough.
Wonderful James Corden.
How are you?
Harry Kane.
We know what we're doing. We have to win our game.
John Terry.
Nearly guys.
Jamie Carragher, gentlemen.
Hey boys, you okay?
Rock and roll superstar is Rod Stewart.
Farewell if you don't know.
Jose Mourinho.
Well, the opponent to win 5 matches in a row.
That was the Andy Goldstein Show with the Sports Bar with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy. Tonight from 10 on Talk Sports.
Well, Matt, a good evening to you. Welcome to the Sports Bar.
Hi, hello, good night.
That was quick.
Had a rough week and missed part of Alan Brazil's sports breakfast on TalkSport. Maybe you accidentally went out on the lash straight after work and ended up waking the next morning face down in a hedge, like Alan.
I've done my old back again.
Maybe you lost your wallet in a trackside hospitality tent and had to hitchhike your way home, like Alan.
Where am I?
Maybe the presence of a faulty lock caused you to be detained indefinitely, like Alan.
I'm locked in a clutchy. No.
Or, like Alan, maybe it was a combination of all three.
Whoa. Enough of that rubbish, Ray. Get lost.
Fill in the gaps by downloading the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast podcast and hear all the best bits of another trailblazing week of big-name guests and star-studded interviews. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast podcast. Available now at talksport.com. TalkSport Traffic and Travel with checkertrade.com. With over 18 years experience in supplying quality trades for you. Visit checkertrade.com today. Checkertrade.com.
Starting off on the M42 in the West Midlands, 2 lanes closed and stationary traffic due to recovery work after an accident. That's northbound between junctions 6 and 7. We're moving on to Cheshire, where there's queue and traffic due to an earlier broken down vehicle on the M56 eastbound between junctions 11 and 10. All lanes have now been reopened. And finally, in West Yorkshire, the slow traffic due to an early accident on the M62 westbound between junctions 27 and 26. All lanes have now been reopened.
Jim White here. Due to cutbacks, they've asked me to do today's trail in abbreviation. Alright, let's give it a go. JW from the TV here, okay? Join me on Monday for big stories from the FA. OMG on the QT. No BS. LOL. CW2 guests with GSOH, i.e. Dean E.T. Ashton and Matt BYOB Scott. Join me, JW, across the UK on TS. ETA 051216. That's Monday, BTW. At 10 on AM and DAB. PS, get here, PDQ. No need to RSVP. You go AWOL is NMFB. Brilliant.
Blast your Saturday with unmissable live football. Crystal Palace versus Southampton. Kick-off 3 p.m. live on TalkSport 2. West Ham versus Arsenal. Kick-off 5:30 live on TalkSport. Another solid gold Saturday with live football on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
Return. Get all trophies and that for fucking making your own house and getting married and adopting a kid, you know.
Tomorrow in the Premier League, Danny Drinkwater suspended for Leicester at Sunderland. They'll be doing match day live from there at 1. Cresswell and Antonio both out for West Ham in TalkSport's live game. Andy Carroll back as they take on Arsenal. Still without Bellerin, Giroud, Debuchy, Baller. Now Connor Wickham will young for Palace, who takes Southampton tomorrow after 6 months in a row. The Eagles manager Alan Pardue is confident he'll turn things around.
I think it's important that I set the agenda for the team, because if I look pressurised and I act pressurised in a way that's going to destabilise the group, then I'll be making a major error. I'm used to this situation, I've been in it before. I just know that I have to be resolute and strong from the group, and that's what I'll be. I'd like to think that they've not seen any weakness from me. And I have no weakness because I feel confident in them. We've made some mistakes, some big mistakes, it can happen. But we've got to stop that now and try and get ourselves a win now, however it comes.
Drive on TalkSport with Sky Sports. See more live Premier League games on Sky Sports.
Papa, you're back.
This season at 7.
Let's play a game.
Lounge, Matt Holland and Danny Gabidon. They'll be joined in the studio by Sean Derry, the Cambridge United manager. Cambridge involved in FA Cup action this weekend. They're at home to Coventry. 2 o'clock kick-off on Sunday afternoon. The FA Cup second round. We'll have all the goals as they go in tomorrow from the FA Cup ties in the second round on Matchday Live on TalkSport. Let's get back to some of your calls on Ranieri. Is he unsackable? Kevin is a Charlton fan. How you doing, Kevin?
Yeah, great to speak to you guys. How you doing?
Yeah, good to have you on, mate. What's your thoughts on Ranieri?
Divine smile on you, friend.
Right, honestly, what a guy. Who'd want the job after? So the Bulls sit there and they say, we need to move on, we're risking relegation. It's like following Ferguson again. How can it be done?
Well, it's not really, is it? I mean, listen, the board, I think that their expectations this season would be the best to finish in the top 4, failing that to finish top 8, maybe top 10. They're not expecting a relegation battle. In that scenario I painted, Kevin, I think that a manager would want the job because he would feel he could keep that team up.
Okay, granted, and if he doesn't, then he knows the 3 months.
It means so much to us to have.
That's gone down to the championship with unhappy players.
Law back where it belongs.
And then where's that stuff? I just don't want to see it happen again to a really nice club.
Kevin, thanks for that. And listen, you're speaking from a position where Charlton.
Hello, my love. Back from some adventure, I bet.
Leicester as well. How many of them have signed new contracts? Similar thing.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And it is a good point that there's no way they can afford Leicester to go down with the contracts. They've forked out.
Yeah.
So something's got to be done. But I would have said at the start of the season, Ranieri's unsackable. But if they end up in the bottom three with the other three teams around them improving and Leicester is sliding down, they have to make a decision.
Listen, you have to. I'm not lumping all owners together, but you have to understand the reality of modern football and how owners are. And I was talking to a Charlton fan, and I was listening to a podcast this week about Charlton and the problems they're having at that football club, and it was enlightening. And the owner has admitted that some of the emails he sent regarding team selection, who should be playing, who shouldn't, and tactics as well, were absolutely true. They actually did send those emails. It's extraordinary. So who knows what the Leicester owners might be thinking. Let's speak to Steve, who is a Leicester fan. How you doing, Steve? You're on TalkSport.
Yeah.
Well, look what the horse is.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
Still wandering all over Skyrim?
Yeah, basically, I think what's happened is we signed Mendy. He wasn't going to be Kante's replacement, but he's been injured since day one. So that's a big thing that's gone wrong for us. And we've got another guy from Poland called Kapuska. £6 million he cost. He's not even been on the bench yet. I'm just baffled by it. There's a lot of Leicester fans are
causing trouble.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, in terms of those players who are playing, you could question some of the signing. A lot of money has been spent as well. What is going wrong? Why isn't it? I don't think anybody expected you to replicate last year. But
Yes, my love. What do you need?
Well, I do go to every home game, and I've been to quite a few away games this season, going to Sunderland, and I'm frankly worried.
Here, this is fresh. I'll have another meal ready tomorrow.
They're just not working.
We have a cozy little profit. Here, this is your share, love. Some may call this junk. Me, I call them treasures.
Doesn't even pass. Normally, he would pass to Vardy, so there's something going on there that we're not quite sure about. And then the defence, it's just gone totally absent.
I think the thing with the defence is, Steve, sorry for that, sorry mate, I just want to get a few more callers in. With the defence, listen, they were never going to have another season like that. The ultimate is that the reality is, Booth and Morgan, they are what they are. They're not world-class defenders. Their fallibility was going to come through at some point, and without Kante, we're seeing that. John is a Leicester fan in Leicester. How you doing, John?
I'm good, thanks, guys. Great show as usual.
Thank you. What's going wrong, mate?
I think like the last caller just said, really, I think there's a mixture of things, but there's one caller that come on earlier, and I don't normally ring in, to be honest, I don't really listen from a distance, but as a Liverpool fan, you know, we're going down, I don't know, I'd put any amount of money on the fact that we're not going to go down, I really would, joking apart, but we won't be going down. I think the focus has been on the Champions League, no doubt about it. I think, like the last caller said, I think Mendy's been injured. But what we've got to remember is we've got irons in the fire. There's things kicking around that we're going to sign this, I don't know how to pronounce it, Indidi game.
So
Goodbye, my love.
Are you hoping that a signing is going to be the answer to lift you to at least the top half of the table and away from the relegation zone? John, thanks for the call. There's a lot of money spent in the summer.
That's what I've said,
title winning side.
I think they're ambitious owners, and they're travelling, like I said, just for the games, helicopter there and back. I think they are going to make signings in January. I don't think they're going to wait. I think they're definitely going to do it, especially with the Champions League situation. They're going to get a couple of more players in, and it just helps Leicester.
Yeah, but you know what? That might increase the pressure, because if they make signings and nothing changes, nothing gets better, there's even more pressure on the manager. And he's a nice fella, and it is a good club. But the owners, they will not want to go down. It's a delicate situation.
Well, the problem is, it was great you would change it to win the title, but realistically, Ranieri coming in, if you could finish 13th, 14th last year, every Leicester fan would have been over the moon.
Yeah.
13th, 14th last season.
So, yeah.
But they won the title. Yeah. So it's totally changed the goalposts.
If I was a Leicester fan, I'd probably just be sitting back, twiddling my thumbs, saying, you know what, let's have a season in the Championship. It's actually a really good, exciting, competitive division. There's more games. It'll be fun. Champions League to Championship. What's the problem? In the meantime, we'll all shine the Premier League trophy while we're there as well. This is TalkSport.
Talk Sport. The biggest names in the game. Presenter profile. Name.
Alan Brazil from the Sports Breakfast, Monday to Friday from 6 a.m.
Most influential person in your career.
Football would be Bobby Robson, no doubt about it.
Favourite film.
I would go probably The Godfather, either 1 or 2. Absolutely adored the music.
Biggest disappointment in sport.
Not winning the league with Ipswich Town, came second twice, once to Liverpool, once to Aston Villa.
Favourite music.
Simple Minds I love. Rod Stewart I've always absolutely loved. But I also like some old stuff as well, Barbra Streisand, stuff like that, if I go back a few years ago.
How do you prepare for a show?
Oh, I don't. I get out of bed, jump in the shower and get in at 5 minutes to 6 o'clock most mornings. Very unprofessional, but it's been successful so far.
The biggest names in the game on DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. Talk Sport. Had a rough week and missed part of Alan Brazil's Sports Breakfast on TalkSport. Maybe you accidentally went out on the lash straight after work and ended up waking the next morning face down in a hedge, like Alan.
I've done the old back again.
Maybe you lost your wallet in a trackside hospitality tent. Had to hitchhike your way home, like Alan. Maybe the presence of a faulty lock caused you to be detained indefinitely, like Alan. Or, like Alan, maybe it was a combination of all three.
Whoa. Enough of that rubbish, right? Get lost.
Fill in the gaps by downloading the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast podcast and hear all the best bits of another trailblazing week of big-name guests and star-studded interviews. The Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast podcast. Available now at talksport.com. My sporting life. Defining moments from Talk Sport.
Yeah, I want to make myself some armour actually.
Clinton, my great captain, will tell you that, oh well, Willow spoke with a different way to the rest of us. And
I knew you couldn't stay away. Admit it, you were lost without him.
This that they brought in. And the one thing any sportsman probably...
Ebony Bow of Souls.
Of all the medals
yeah, that's...
you can eventually win, and I was like...
Yeah, that's one I made. I named it that.
In a dressing room, you have to answer one question.
Yeah, I made it. It absorbs 20 points of health, and if the target dies, within a second it fills a soul gem.
Still having to teach, by the way. Obviously, it took one look and said, this guy, you know, this is a joke. And of course, I played 8 games in the Arsenal first team as an amateur school teacher, and they rioted. They rioted to the point they went to the manager and said, you can't have an amateur school.
It's dead easy to put a soul trap on a weapon as well, but what you need to do really though is you need to get enchanting up to 100, so you can put 2 enchantments on it.
He was born in the same year. People like Bobby Moore, Bobby Charlton, Bestie.
Then you can have like shock damage and fucking soul trap on it. And it electrocutes them to death, it's boss.
Right, next we've got the heads on tomorrow from 7 a.m. It's Georgie Bingham and Tony Cascarino on the Weekend Sports Breakfast. And don't forget, across the TalkSport network, we have 3 Premier League commentaries for you tomorrow at 3 p.m. on TalkSport 2. It's Palace against Southampton. Following that, it's West Ham Arsenal live on TalkSport 5:30. And on Sunday, 1:30 p.m. Bournemouth Liverpool. That's live only on TalkSport. Let's get the news headlines now. Craig Wakeley.
Chelsea have refused to comment on allegations the club paid £50,000 to a former player who claims he was abused in the 1970s. Meanwhile, Southampton have confirmed that they've been in contact with Hampshire police following information supplied to them in relation to historical child abuse within football, and Kent police have received reports of non-recent child abuse within the game, but stress they're not naming any clubs. A member of one of Britain's most notorious crime families has been sentenced to 9 years in prison for shooting an associate. 60-year-old Patrick Adams avoided a trial for attempted murder after pleading guilty to grievous bodily harm. And rail fares will go up by an average of 2.3% next month. It's the largest rise in 3 years and will take effect from the beginning of next year.
Talk Sport.
Sports Update. Newly crowned Formula One world champion Nico Rosberg has announced his shock retirement from the sport. The German says he's now achieved his dream after 25 years of racing. The decision feels right. Sunderland boss David Moyes admits it's unlikely he'll have the resources to sign new players.
He'll get fucking by hard at retirement, mate.
For some new faces.
You know what I mean? It's all bullshit.
The Premier League and 3 points adrift of safety, having won just twice this season. Finally, on to tonight's action. Newcastle can go 5 points clear at the top of the Sky Bet Championship with a win at Nottingham Forest.
Now he's brain damaged or something, isn't he?
League Macclesfield taking on Sky Bet League One Oxford. All the latest sports news is on the website talksports.com.
Talk Sports, charismatic, idiosyncratic.
You don't own Europe.
Most you're better than that.
Novak Djokovic. You made your point. I could have
My skill in battle is unmatched.
Chelsea have agreed to be with Chelsea.
That skill can be bought.
Let's bang one out now. Got a couple of brand headphones, and if I say the word Scotty's parcel, that's a head's gone, isn't it? Do you want to explain what's happened, mate?
No.
Oh, don't you?
Well, for the last half an hour, I've just been. Someone signed for a parcel.
You've got an email.
Do you know when you get that panic through? It said it was delivered between 12 and 1:30. How do you rate our service? Signed for by random. I was here yesterday, and no one signed for my parcel because I didn't recognise the name. But I actually do know the name is now. A lady who comes here every Monday and Thursday, and I know her from her first name, and I've known her over 20 years. And I've just worked out her last name. And the parcel's here. And I was just about to send the snobbish email you've ever seen.
You were fuming.
It's here. It's right here about it.
Raging and fuming, and the parcel's right behind it.
It's a yard away from me.
Brilliant. I've got an even better head's gone. This was from Harry and Graham's show earlier. Mike Harry actually said on it, get a load of this, he said this, what's the dog called in Scooby-Doo?
Dickheads.
What's the dog called in Scooby-Doo? He did! I swear to God, he said it. Absolutely, I swear on my life.
Well, there is another dog in Scooby-Doo.
Scrappy-Doo, yeah, but
Scrappy.
What's the dog called in Scooby-Doo? What do you think it's called? Flipping heck. Anyway, Alan Pardew said today that he will not be changing his back four ahead of the game with Southampton tomorrow. However, that defence that he's sticking with has conceded 18 goals in 6 games.
If I were him, I think I'd change it.
Do you know what they say? There was a story today that apparently the players had asked for more defensive coaching of Palace this week.
Well, get a defensive coach. If you don't want to do it yourself, get a defensive coach.
Crazy. John Stones has he's got a new tattoo. It's a picture of his girlfriend's face. It's on his forearm. Now I'm having a look at this. So there's a clock on her face.
A what?
A clock on her face.
A clock? A clock? Ridiculous. What's the clock about? Is it at a time? Is it at a certain time? Let me have a look.
Clock on her mouth. Do you clock it?
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's a... Listen, if it works for him, and it's fine, but I'm...
I'm late. I'm very important. No time to say hello, goodbye. I've got a clock on a face. I just can't get it. Sorry.
Wow, that is something else. Arsene Wenger has said he won't be dipping into the January transfer market despite Cazorla being ruled out for 3 months. Well, why not? Yeah, there have been some good players signed in January. As I recall, wasn't Luis Suarez signed in January? I think he was, wasn't he? If you get out there and have a look at it, so instead of doing all this TV work for French companies or just sitting around basically doing nothing, not bothering to go and watch Jack Wilshere, not bothering to even talk to Jack Wilshere, go out and do some scouting and earn your money.
No, except there's no other Cazorlas out.
Really? There's nobody as good as Cazorla? Wow. Anyway, fans are now able to purchase official Hartlepool United temporary sailors tattoos as the perfect stocking filler for Christmas.
I like that one.
It's 50p. That's all it is, 50p. You want? Why would you want one of them?
Stocking filler.
It says Hartlepool United.
Stocking filler.
Okay. 30-year-old French striker Andre Pierre Guignac. You'll love this. He'd gone 2 months without a goal for his club in Mexico.
Well, it was due.
Yeah, it was due a goal, yeah, but in the meantime, while he was in the drought, he decided to seek out the services of a professional hypnotist. So he had some hypnotherapy. Game after that, scored a hat-trick.
Did he?
Yeah.
to Sky Mexico.
Now then, yeah, you're going to go?
Yes, you've seen it.
One QPR fan was left understandably a bit peeved after paying through the nose to watch his side play from behind a large pillar last night. Listen, this is not new. He paid very, very quick for a ticket. You go to QPR and you go to quite a few old grounds. There will be pillars. You will have to peer around them. Unlock it. Deal with it.
Fucking nerves.
Last night. Wayne Rooney's decided to grow out his beard. Unfortunately, some fans noticed that his
I don't know. It's like...
He's washed up himself from he looks a bit like that.
Who's casting it? On Connor? How?
I don't care what it is. I want it down now. I want to know what he's doing.
Shopkeepers in Venezuela have been caught blowing up raw chickens with their mouths to make them seem
What, just make it look bigger?
Can you imagine about that? Blowing up a raw chicken with their mouth? Can you imagine if that person kind of smoke through and skinny?
I know, but as soon as you put your hand on the chicken, it's just a little... Isn't it? They're going to pick it away. Whoopee cushion.
Right.
Well, they got whoopee cushion chicken.
They're making it bigger to increase the price. It's a disgrace, really. And a beaver has been causing havoc in, not just a beaver, a beaver has been causing havoc in a mall over in the States. Here, the furry animals, picture of it, mate, look. Furry animals decided to take a stroll up and down the aisles, nibbling and knocking out local police reporting to catch the chicken.
Where did it go for? Is it a specific
nice beaver. There you go, those.
I asked my boys that the other day, I said, right, if you've got 30 seconds to go into a supermarket, grab what you want, you go for it. Well, we should pick it up, straight to the alcohol. Would you go for it? We're going to say cheese. No! Straight to the alcohol.
Yeah, you're right.
We need to find out what on Connor is up to.
You're right. I don't know what we're doing right now.
Right, let's take a quick one from Kieran, who's a Leicester fan. How you doing, Kieran? You're on full ball.
Hi guys, you're right. I'm good, thanks.
What's your thoughts on that theory?
You know what he's doing. Excellent. I'd suggest that we go retrieve it immediately. But right now we have more pressing matters. Ancano has somehow locked himself in the hall. He's up to something, and I intend to put a stop to it. Will you? Throwing everything we have at it.
We need to find out what Ancano is up
Let's get this straight. Nobody's considering sacking him. I don't think they're talking about it at the moment. What I've done is given a scenario where you imagine you go out in the round of 16 Leicester in the Champions League, not inconceivable, and imagine that following weekend Leicester drop.
I don't know what he's doing. Now's not the time. We need to put a stop to whatever it is that's going on.
What's going on?
Huh? And Connor, stop this at once. I command you.
Don't go near him.
If you go out at that stage, then drop into the bottom three, what will the owners be thinking then? Would that be possible, a change?
Are you all right? Can you walk? I need you on your feet. We're in trouble here. Ancano is doing something with that thing, the eye. We can't stop him. I haven't seen Savo since the explosion. He must have been blown clear, and he may be injured. I need you to find the Archmage, and I need you to do it quickly. Get moving.
They might work on that basis as a good reference.
I'll be fine. I just need a minute to catch my breath. Find Savos.
They didn't spend 29 million and 12, 15 million on players when Pearson was there.
Yeah, totally different now. They're now champions in the Premier League.
Expectations.
And in the Champions League, the owners straight away have a different outlook on what they want. They've improved the contract of some of their players. They fly in by helicopter. They're now welcome
What's
to the
that?
big league.
Are you all right?
They're
He's not having
following
dinner.
in their own country. The owner's own country.
By the nine, is he responsible for this? The Archmage? Dead? There's more. Something's happened to Winterhold. It must be whatever Ancano did. You need to get out there and make sure it's safe. Quickly now, quickly. I'll find Mirabelle and see if we can't put a stop to this.
Jamie Etherington says that's almost as bad as saying what's the cat called in Top Cat. It's called Top Cat. Yeah, and Ahmed has tweeted us, says John Stones. That's a bit of a cock up. This is TalkSport.
Had a rough week and missed part of Alan Brazil's sports breakfast on TalkSport. Maybe you accidentally went out on the lash straight after work and ended up waking the next morning face down in a hedge like Alan.
I've done the old back again. Maybe you lost your wallet in a trackside hospitality.
Is he dead?
That's which like your way home, like Alan.
I hope this isn't something I did.
Maybe the presence of a faulty lock caused you to be detained indefinitely, like Alan. Or, like Alan, maybe it was a combination of all three.
What's going on? What happened to him?
Filling the gaps.
It may be in danger? Take a look. I don't think there's much question. Let's get down there. We have to do something. Come on. Let's go.
Have to? They'd never lift a finger to help us.
Massive names in the world of sport and beyond. Unless you win everything so much, there's never been it's going to be enough. One from James Gordon. With Andy Goldstein and Jason Campbell, tonight from
7. JW from the TV here. Okay, join me on Monday for big stories from the FA, OMG, on the QT. No BS. XOL. CW2 guests with CSO, i.e. Dean, E.T. Ashton and Matt, BYOB Scott. Join me, JW, across the UK on TS. ETA 051216. That's Monday, BTW. At 10 on AM and DAB. Yes, get here, BTW. No need to
He said, and the reason is because you've got time. When those words can be very annoying and not have to jump them on the pitch. Because I had the experience of doing it. So I was telling him where to go to basically what we want to do, and I asked him for it. And he said, look, if you've got that attribute, then you actually tend to back and you've got that patience to work out things. He said, that will make you really good stuff. That's how I did running. And I was like, but he saw something early in the morning that I didn't know myself, and I think I took that with me, and that's building thing. I'm not sure as it is today when I went to Turkey. You have to have patience, you have to give them opportunities to make it faster, and then you have to make it faster, and at Chelsea, we're bought the Chelsea, and that's why you Checkertrade.com today. Checkertrade.com. Start off in Lincolnshire. It's moving slowly along the M1 entry all lanes have now been reopened. Moving to Warwickshire, are 2 lanes closed and on the
British Broadcasting, wherever you are, whenever you want. Download the Talk Radio app and get the news in British
So is the Selco Predictor. If you've not signed up already, you should have single week. This week everyone will be coming forward with
Wish to master the arcane arts.
Two people I thought I could do it was me and Billy, you know, when I was picking up the paper and everyone...
Until next time. It may be dead now. Where did it come from?
Me and Billy were shaking our heads, but... Am I looking at this different? We're the only ones seeing this, you know, and... You know, nobody really gave me a chance.
Hello, I'm Ricky Atkin.
If I was able to pull it off, it would probably be one of the greatest victories in a British, you know, in a British boxing ring. I was training at tea time, and then I was doing my run at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was incredible.
I'll sell just about anything if it's worth my time.
No, bitch.
I got pulled up by the police a couple of times. Excuse me, sir.
She loves red guard cock.
Took me off. It was like, oh, hi, Ricky, sorry, come up next week.
Big fucking black red guard cock, mate. I'm a red guard from Hammerfell, where we listen to rap music.
people, the amount of people got offended by the very question, and yet 61% agree with it. What will happen in tomorrow's game, the FM? Man City win, 29%. Chelsea win, 32%.
Well, is everything out? Wish I could say the same for us. Tolfdir and I can try and keep this contained. You need to get your hands on the staff of Magnus, now. What? Are you sure? The staff is there. That can't be a coincidence. The Archmage. He gave me something just a little while ago. He told me it was from Labyrinthian and that I would know what to do with it when the time came. I think he meant this for you then. I'm not sure why, but there was something very personal about it for him. I think you should take this amulet. It belonged to Savos, but I think it would do you the most good now. Take it and get out of here. Bring back that staff before Onkano brings the whole college down around us.
You're not as... I'm running low. They're chanting, sir. The local lords may not like it.
Two guests tonight. Danny Gavadon's here as always, and also with Kings United got Sean Derry. Let's get some sport with Ben Fletcher. First the news with Craig Wakefield. Thank you, Matt. Good evening. Chelsea Sarah Unity historical child sex abuse will be handed to the FA, and they won't comment on the latest reports. A former player claims the club paid him £50,000 not to go public with allegations.
Labyrinthian, man. Oh, I don't know if I can be arsed going in there.
Southampton have confirmed that they've been in contact with Hampshire Police following information supplied to them in relation to historical child abuse within the game, and now Kent Police have received reports of non-recent child abuse within football, but stress that they're not naming any football clubs. Elsewhere, a member of a notorious crime family who shot an associate he suspected of being a grass has been jailed for 9 years. Woolwich Crown Court heard that Patrick Adams shot Paul Terrian and fled to Amsterdam. The 60-year-old denied attempted murder, instead admitting a lesser charge. The Liberal Democrat leader says their victory in the Richmond Park by-election shows his party is back. Tim Farron says the Lib Dems are carrying the torch for those people who want a real opposition to the UK exit from the EU. Sarah Onley overturned a massive Tory majority. Housing Minister Gavin Barwell says the Conservatives are taking nothing for granted in the upcoming Sleaford by-election. If you look at the opinion polls, I think we can see Theresa May personally and the government as a whole are still riding high in the opinion polls, and I think we've got a good story to tell about the work this government is doing to try and build a country that works for everyone. And rail fares will go up by an average of 2.3% next month. It's the largest rise in 3 years and will take effect from the beginning of next year.
Absolutely
With servicing from £79, we keep you on the road for less. Visit the Tyre and Vehicle Maintenance Experts today. Cloudy for much of the night, a bit of light rain here and there, lows of 3 degrees.
Talk Sport, Sports Update. With Sport Magazine, get in-depth previews, stunning photography and exclusive video content on your iPad. Download it from the Apple newsstand today.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good evening. Lewis Hamilton says he'll miss his rivalry with Nico Rosberg after the F1 champion announced his shock retirement. The German beat his Mercedes teammate to this year's title, taking the championship after the final race of the season just 5 days ago. Hamilton can understand Rosberg's decision to step down from the sport.
I mean, this is the first time he's won in 18 years, so hence why it was no surprise that he decided to stop. But also he's got a family to focus on, and probably wants to have more children and all those different things, and Formula 1 takes so much from you.
To the football then, Leicester manager Claudio Ranieri's made the final 3-man shortlist for FIFA's Coach of the Year award. He's up against Real Madrid's Zinedine Zidane and Portugal boss Fernando Santos. Atletico Madrid and France forward Antoine Griezmann joins Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi in contention for the Player of 2016. Chelsea boss Antonio Conte says his side's title credentials will be a lot clearer after their game with Manchester City. The two sides meet in the lunchtime Premier League fixture tomorrow. The winner will end the day top of the table. On to tonight's action, Newcastle can go 5 points clear at the top of the Sky Bet Championship with a win at Nottingham Forest, and the second round of the FA Cup gets underway with non-league Macclesfield taking on Sky Bet League One Oxford. Finally, MK Dons have confirmed the appointment of Robbie Nilsson as their new manager after agreeing compensation with his former club Hearts. He'll take charge of the Sky Bet League One side in time for their FA Cup second round clash with Charlton tomorrow. Nilsson's joined by Stevie Crawford as his assistant. Don't forget, TalkSport 2 will bring you full live Premier League commentary of Crystal Palace versus Southampton tomorrow afternoon. Here on TalkSport with exclusive to national radio coverage of West Ham versus Arsenal in the evening fixture.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. Kick off the Players Lounge on Talk Sports.
Good evening, welcome along to the Players Lounge. Not one, but two guests this week. My usual wingman, former Wales, West Ham and Palace defender Danny Gavinon's here. Also delighted to say I'm joined by the Cambridge United boss, Sean Derry. Loads of talking points. Great guest as well, Sean Derry, to have with us tonight, because I want to talk about managing youngsters. Liverpool's Ben Woodburn, he came into the fore this week, he's the latest to be hyped up. Their youngest ever goal scorer, beating Michael Owen's record. Prioritising competitions as well. Quarter-final of the EFL Cup this week. Majority of sides played weakened teams. Why? We're going to chat Gareth Southgate. We'll preview all the Premier League games as always. We'll get the big stories from Europe and the Football League. Plenty more besides. This is the Players Lounge on TalkSport. Good evening, welcome along. Good to have you both with us.
Good evening. Pleasure to be here, Matt.
How are we? All right, all good?
Yeah.
All good. As always, I like to get a quiz as well, and I'll set us up straight away with the quiz. I want you to know after, it's actually because of Ben Woodburn, so we're going to talk about it a little bit later on, about how you're going to manage youngsters and all the hype. But the question is, the top 10 youngest players, or the youngest 10, should I say, players to have scored in the Premier League.
Ooh, good one.
Okay?
God.
So not played, these are the top 10 goal scorers, youngest goal scorers in the Premier League. You can tweet me at Matt Gordon, at TalkSport Care, at Gavin35, then we'll be on Twitter. Your managers are, what should they be on Twitter? Temporarily. Probably sensible.
No, he's on watching his players.
That's not a bad idea either, to be honest. So yeah, get those into me. Top 10 youngest goal scorers in the Premier League. Get any ideas straight away or not?
Is this a joint quiz, by the way?
Yeah, no, it's a joint quiz.
You want me to give
Just
you
give me one. Give me one at least.
I'm going to say Daniel Caramartin.
Oh, do you know what? He comes in at number 10 on the list. Michael Brown.
You know you're back.
Not Michael Brown. 17 years.
Oh, you gotta read this joke, man. It's fucking funny. Alright. A Manchester United fan dies on a match day and goes to heaven wearing his Manchester United shirt. He knocks on the old pearly gates and out walks St. Peter. Hello, mate, says St. Peter. I'm sorry, no Man United fans in heaven. What? Exclaims the man, astonished. You heard, no Man United fans. But, I've been a good man, replies the Manchester United supporter. Oh really, says St. Peter, what have you done then? Well, said the guy, 3 weeks before I died, I gave £10 to the starving children in Africa. Oh, says St. Peter, anything else? Well, 2 weeks before I died, I also gave £10 to the homeless. Anything else? Yeah, a week before I died, I gave another £10 to the Albanian orphans. Okay, said St. Peter, you wait here a minute while I go have a word with God. 10 minutes pass before St. Peter returns. He looks the bloke dead in the eye and says, I've had a word with God, and he agrees with me. Here's your 30 quid back, now fuck off. That's just Man United jokes. There's another one there, but it's like it's on YouTube, and I don't know if you've seen it. It's fucking St. Peter, Thierry Henry goes to heaven, and Yeah, it's funny, but he's like, fucking, oh yeah, have you done anything bad in your life? And he's like, no. Oh really? He's like, well, there was this one time I accidentally handballed the goal over the line and cost Ireland team the place in the World Cup. He says, oh, that's terrible, you know. Oh, that's terrible, that, you know. He's going, but St. Peter, you must understand it's only a game. And then he turns around and goes, first of all, it's St. Peter's Day off, and I'm St. Patrick, so you can burn in hell, you cheating bastard. Yes. I'm gonna have to go on a different account, man, to play FIFA because I'm in Division 2, man. Didn't realise I got to Division 2. Fucking great, that. No, I want to play the fucking Detroit 2 hard, man. It pisses me off. Yeah, but no, well, they're not really better. They just fucking keep the ball more and do fucking, you know, these little bitches, mate. It annoys me. That's it, like, it just bores me.